Hey, precious souls, it's Dr. Karin, and I want to give you the answer to one of my most asked questions, which is how in the world do you tap into non physical energy, talk to people on the other side, talk to spirit? How do you interpret whatever's coming in? What is coming in? What are you doing? So, I am a medium also. I don't tell everybody, now I'm telling the world. This has been something that happened to me during my spiritual awakening. And the reason I'm going to talk about it now is because I am, for the first time, going to be opening this up publicly, which is going to be offering intuitive guidance readings for 45-minute super sessions with me. I never want to scare people off when I talk about being a medium, because I know people that don't align with that kind of belief system. It can scare people. Now, listen, I was raised in a conservative Christian family. My mom's a Presbyterian pastor. My dad was the juvenile judge for the county, like very strict, like nobody was talking to dead people, but I did go to Church of God, and there was a lot of speaking in tongues and a lot of spiritual stuff, right? So I was raised with a very spiritual family, although like woo stuff was considered a cult, and you definitely didn't go see psychics or any of that. Like it's just interesting to me, the funny delineation of like what's Christian and what's not. Oh, thanks, Darcy. So I'm just gonna be really honest with you guys. I know there are certain people that follow me, maybe friends of mine in Buckhead. They're gonna be like, what is she talking about? Like, you wouldn't know that if you saw me out, but it is something that happened to me. My spiritual awakening happened 5 years ago, and I was a PhD trained therapist. I was a very spiritual teacher. I was doing a lot of inspirational work, and then someone really, really close to me passed away really tragically. And all these supernatural experiences started happening around her death, and I started getting like visions and hearing things, and it turned out that she was really trying to communicate with me because there were a lot of unresolved things around her death. And so I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on, and none of it matched anything in my belief system. And of course my world was turned upside down because I had lost her in physical form. So anyway, I was led through synchronicities and people that knew that I was like struggling. I lost all this weight, like my hair was falling out. I was like experiencing this really dark energy, and I didn't know what was going on. Not because of her, but because I started opening up to all of this like spiritual stuff. And so all this stuff was getting in, and I sought the help of a medium. So I was led to this medium named Jamie Butler here in Atlanta. She's amazing, and she clarified everything for me, and she did a very amazing session with me where she actually she can see clairsentient. She can see non-physical, like she can see all your angels, all your guides, all your loved ones. And I don't have the gift of sight yet. I don't have the gift of hearing yet. I'm a clairvoyant, which means that let me get my coffee. I actually feel the energy and the emotions of spirit, of loved ones, and I get visions, all right, in my head. Like I kind of tune into a really high frequency. I kind of check out a little bit and go into spirit, and I can tell spirits are around because I'll start getting popping in my ears. You get chill bumps and all that, and I've learned just to trust it. Okay, so it's a neat, amazing thing, but it's taken me a while to own it. The fact that I'm on here live telling you about it is a big deal for me. But I feel like it would be a disservice if I wasn't offering this. So when this happened to me, this tragic but like awakening experience, I started having a full-blown spiritual awakening, and I started investigating like all this stuff in the spiritual community, and I started understanding things in a brand new way, because all of a sudden things were making sense to me on a different dimensional level than they were according to my conservative Christian background that was like extremely judgmental, all about power. And so I started power and control, the Christian background. So I started seeking out answers that were on a spiritual, high dimensional, high frequency level. And I started understanding soul contracts and what our soul's choices are. I started understanding that I wasn't a victim and God wasn't punishing me, and that I was here for a spiritual reason, and that God loved me, and all the loved ones that have passed on loved me too, and they really like to communicate and help us, right? And it's crazy that we just think that like what our guardian angel and Jesus are the only ones that come through. They all can come through. I learned how to protect myself. I took mediumship classes, and I learned, and that's really important. I'm about to release an opt-in too. You'll see it on my if you click on my picture and go to my ClickFunnels, the link on my profile, all this is going to be available. This is all going to come through in due time this weekend. And I'm going to talk about spiritual awakening. I'll talk about this more in depth as time goes on. But thank you. Felicia's on here. She said she loved her spiritual reading with me. I did it with all the members of my Freedom Pathway group. And thanks, sweetie. A lot of truth and wisdom, she says, came through. So what happens is I just learned to trust, all right? We're all psychic, we're all clairvoyant, we're all intuitive, whatever word you want to use. It's your spirit's voice coming through. And so I've just learned the only difference between you and me is I've just learned to trust it. And I know how to pretty easily and quickly put myself in a higher frequency to where I'm tuning in to the spiritual realm of things. And so their frequency is extremely high. So for me to gain the communication from them, I have to raise my vibration because it's really tough for them to lower theirs to communicate with us. So I raise my vibration by just like dropping in, and like right now I'm hearing ringing in my ears. That's because I've asked my team to be around me while I'm doing this because I was a little nervous about it, because this is a big kind of an exposure thing for me because I don't want to scare anyone. I think it's amazing, but everyone doesn't really get it, so I wanted to explain it. So you know how when you're in church and like there's a lot of like spiritual stuff going on, or you're in an event that's like high vibe, even if it's a concert, and you get chill bumps and you just feel yourself so elated, that is you tuning into spirit and raising your frequency. That is what the frequency vibrational thing is. We're all energetic beings, we're spiritual beings, but we're a million vibrating, billions of vibrating neurons and blah, all the stuff that we're made of. And so when you're in an experience that has a high vibration and you match it, your body's going to give you chill bumps because that, like I've got them right now, that means your spirit team is close to you. Your skin reacts to the high frequency, the high vibration by giving you chill bumps. So every time you get chill bumps, it means that message was meant for you, all right? Oftentimes you'll get ringing or clicking. I get clicking in my ears. That's how I know spirit's super close. So what I would do, so my intuitive guidance readings, you'll be able to reserve one starting this weekend, I think maybe Monday, but anyway, you'll see it on the link on my profile. You can click through to my link tree and there'll be a place to sign it up there. We'll get on the phone and I'll just start like talking to you and wanting to know like what's going on, what is it? So again, like I'm not seeing things or hearing voices. I've just tuned in and I've asked your angels and your guides to help me. I've asked my angels and guides to help me beforehand. I always tune in. I use my singing bowl back here beforehand. I'll sometimes hold one of my crystals to help my frequency raise. Oftentimes, I'm going to start also writing, doing channeled writing, maybe beforehand or before the session. That's part of my goal with each session. My intuitive does that with me. I write out what comes through before I even talk to you. So there's no like, I don't know anything. I'm just getting guidance and I have no bias or, I have to really pray that my own ego slides to the side because sometimes I can tell that I'm getting in the way. Because I'll have my own thoughts and I'll let you know, wait, this is me, this isn't spirit, hold on a minute, let me like tune back in. So what I do is I just like, I'll start feeling like what they'll do is they'll start giving me images. Like you know where I practice this? I practiced this with Uber drivers for the past 3 years. Every time I'm in an Uber, not every time, but I swear to God, 75% of the time, because there's like no risk for me. Like they don't know me, I don't know them, but I can tell because the spiritual world knows that I'm open to this, loved ones, and so they get very excited when I'm near because they know I'm going to open and then they can bring messages in and they like are kind of waiting in line to communicate. So I'll just say, your grandmother's on the other side, or I'm getting a vision of like a grandmother, grandfather together. They're showing me a toy truck and a little girl, little boy walking, a little girl. Spirit's so close. I've got so many chill bumps. Oh, they love that we're talking about it. And so, and every time the Uber driver starts crying, a lot of crazy shits come through in Uber rides. But that's how I practice because I was nervous about doing it because I'm always nervous. Like, what if I get it wrong? What if the person thinks I'm crazy? But I've had to move all of that out of the way. And I'm just like, I trust that my ego is out of this. I trust that I am going to get the messages meant for them. And this is a service for you. Obviously, I charge a fee for it. It's an exchange of energy with you, the money exchange. It's an investment in your guidance for you. All right. So what they'll do is they'll give me these like visions and words and when we're doing it, it may not make sense to you now. Like, I know Felicia and I were talking about her reading and she was just saying she's much more open now and it would make more sense now if we did it again. And sometimes you'll hear something and it's like, I don't know what that is. And as you process it and you ask your own divine guidance to make it clear to you what it meant, you will over time, you'll get it because this is all a co-creation between you and me and the spirit team. And here's what's amazing. It's always love. Like when I'm doing a reading and I'm channeling this energy, I'm channeling this communication, what I love about it is I get to experience their emotions and they're always very excited when I open up and allow them in. I always ask that only the beings that serve the white light of God are allowed in. So I already protect any negative energy. But I sense the way that they feel and they feel very excited to be able to talk to me. So I get to experience their excitement and their love. So it's a very good experience for me. My vibration raises so high. And, during the session, you will get like, oftentimes they'll show like what's holding you back. Like oftentimes I'll see pathways or mountains, or they'll show me like boulders in the way, or that maybe you're holding on to something and there's specifically something here. They'll show me where the pain is in your body. I work with a lot of my clients that I do coaching with. I will do actually energy reading and energy clearing sessions at the end of our session, and I'll get messages from their guidance team, and it's always like they will show me, like I have a client that is an actress, and one time I was doing a reading for her at the end of the session, a real quick prayer with channeled energy comes in, and they were showing me very clearly she was upset she hadn't gotten a job with this one show she wanted to be with, and they showed me very clearly that the experience was going to be a very abusive experience had she gone ahead and gone on with this cast, and there was something to do with the producer of it, and I was seeing very clearly that it was going to be such a bad experience for her. So I love that came through, like it explained why. So you never know like why you're being blocked, because sometimes you just have to always trust that God's got your back, the universe has your back, your angels, your guides, your loved ones have your back, and that you're being guided towards whatever is for your highest good. So that's what we always ask for. That's what I ask for during the readings. You will get so much support and love. You'll get validation that they're okay. And by the way, they're always okay. You'll get like just so much inspiration. You'll just feel so good at the end of it. I love getting readings myself. I get one like probably every other week. I have an intuitive therapist I work with, and she channels half of our session, and I love it because I get like this divine guidance, which is like amazing. I can ask any question. I don't do specific questions so much. I mean, if something comes up, I can try to tune in and read, but it's more of just like this fluid, gorgeous. Oftentimes I'll see like how long before like your next relationships is going to happen. So here's the thing too, if you get readings, or if get your like your astrology reading or any of that, like I love it. But here's the thing, what I'm reading, what astrologers and psychics are reading at the time is the energy, what is most likely to happen, or what they see with the energy of that moment. Okay, how everything is arranged in your life. Excuse me. If you get a prediction, just know, like I don't follow my life by my readings. I know that it's based on the energy, and energy can change, and people have free will, so things can change. I don't make it a guarantee that what they tell me is going to happen, and I wouldn't want you to do that with me. I would want you to know that this is what I'm seeing with the energy as it is now. I'm gonna answer questions about jobs, about relationships, about health. Oftentimes I'll just get like really specific information, no idea what it means, and then you're like, oh my God, like I totally know what you're talking about. And we can go in, if you're having some issue, I can go in and ask Spirit to give me answers around it. Okay, so it's called an intuitive guidance reading. It's gonna be up soon. I love doing it. I feel like it's time that I give this service to the world, and that I start doing it so that you can have a more expanded experience as well, and raise your awareness and raise your connection with your divine self, your higher self, your angels and guides, and maybe you'll choose to work with me more, you know, who knows? I'm just here following my calling, and I love what I get to do. I love it. So I'm not crazy. I'm just following my my calling, and this is part of it. So anyway, I love having all you guys here. Go have a great weekend. Go have a great week. Remember, when you follow your heart, thanks, Darcy. When you follow your heart, you're always going the right direction. Bye, guys.